Let me see what's going on. Well, folks, today's Tippler Talk Tuesday. We're going to be talking about flying. Some guys have contacted me. They've asked questions. What can I do to make my birds fly better? What am I doing wrong? My birds look good, but they're not flying. Something is wrong. So the question that was asked was one of my YouTubers named George. George, if you're watching, here's what I have for you. I told you I was gonna make a in-depth video for you about the possibilities of what you may have going on in your loft. So before I start explaining some of these medications and some of these items that I have here laid out for you, I will go through some of the problems that a pigeon can have as far as medical. Pigeon can have wormer, any parasites inside the bird. Bird can have canker, coccidiosis, salmonella, E. coli, and then you get into the combinations of problems you may have in your loft. So if you may have one or the other, you can use some of these products to tackle some of those problems. So your bird could have E. coli, parathyroid, and respiratory infection. And here are two respiratory infections along with coccidiosis. And the bird can have mucus in his throat on account of these items right here. Then you have the combination medications that you can use in order to combat some of these things all together. And last, disinfecting and preventing all this from happening with some of these products. Now, one could be in the water, right? Or you could use it as a cleaning solution outside your loft. But most of all, if prevention is the key instead of healing the bird. So if your birds are not flying, I would start out with a few things first. The easiest things that you have control of, right? You can clean your loft, make sure that the loft is well cleaned, ventilated, and disinfected. Okay? Products for disinfecting, you can use, of course, bleach. You can use 1 part bleach, 5 parts water. You can use Vircon S. I've made videos on that before in the past. You can start putting this stuff, which I found recently. It could be a really good product. I've heard other guys mention it. The Five and Dime mentioned it years ago. I never did get it, but he mentioned it. He puts it in the water. He has no problems. And this is pretty much like for prevention. And it's also a disinfecting, cleaning solution for feeders and drinkers. So you can put this even in the water. You follow the instructions and the birds can drink it and it won't harm them. But this is a prevention from all of this stuff right here. Now, one must wonder why you have so many products. Because I like to think of being a responsible pigeon handler, pigeon flyer, pigeon breeder. I show my birds sometimes. So you want to be responsible. Just like if you have dogs or cats at home, if you value your pets and you take them to the vet once a year, you get them vaccinated, wormed, and checkups, just like yourself. You go once a year to your local doctor, you get checkups. Individuals, when you get a certain age, for example, right when I hit my 50 mark, I went ahead and got my regular checkup routines at the age of 50, a colonoscopy. I checked my prostate. Things that can come down the road if you don't get them checked and catch them early enough. Well, just like the pigeons, we're trying to catch all these problems early enough. And most of these products can be used as a prevention or a treatment. I always like to caution my bird on prevention. I do that all the time, and sometimes I give them a break from all these things. These are man-made products, chemicals, and I go to organic. I'll go to organic for a while and break up the cycle, and it's better for the birds anyway. You don't want to over-medicate your birds, but also if you're not medicating your birds, something's wrong. And you can't sit there and tell me that the best thing to do with a bird is not medicate, to leave it alone. Well, if that were the case, as human beings, why are we all inoculated? We all get shots when we're born, right? We get a series of shots from measles, mumps, chicken pox, all that stuff. Unless for religious purposes you don't get that, most people in America get that. So for our pigeons, we must take care of our birds, and that's how we do it. By getting some of these products, knowing how to administer these products, knowing why we're doing it, and following through. So I'll start over here. George, if you're watching this video, here's what I recommend you do first. For your birds, make sure you worm them. I have two types of wormer. I have a liquid form that you can administer in the water, or you can pick up each pigeon and you can give them a tablet, each one. And follow the instructions. Real simple. Follow the instructions. Read. Next thing you could do, as a preventative, you can do the canker. I use this product, and I don't use very much. You could tell that I have plenty of product left. I tend to watch my birds closely, and I've never had a canker problem here. Easy. Coccidiosis. Here's what I've learned about coccidia. All the pigeons have it automatically. All the pigeons are carriers, but you have different levels of coccidia. Some coccidia can be very harmful to young birds versus older birds. Older birds may look fine, but they are carriers. They have it. So if you have an outbreak of coccidia, separate and treat. Now, if you do like I do, a prevention, then you follow the instructions. This product here, prevention or treatment. You can use this. This is a powder. This is a liquid form. Coccidia. Now, salmonella. It's another illness that can attack your birds and prevent them from flying or breeding properly. So in this case, I just recently picked this up. Not that I need it, but I like to have things on hand if I do ever need something. And like I said before, prevention. Now, I've had salmonella with the 20%. This is salmonella with 40%. It's good to have a variation in potency in medication. E. coli. Ecotonic. I've used this for years now. Great product. I don't have a E. coli problem, and I stay on top of it. This is organic base, great stuff. I've shown this in my past videos. This is a great product to have in your loft and also aid in the prevention of many other illnesses for your birds, right? So it prevents viral and bacterial illnesses. So George, this is another one you can use. Then you come into this bronchial sprint. This right here takes care of a couple of things, right? So this is all also respiratory infections, and some of these products will take care of upper or lower air sacs. Pigeons don't have, pigeons have multiple air sacs. So you got the upper and lower respiratory. There you have it. I use this product as a prevention. And most of these products I use as prevention anyway. Doxy T, one of by Colin Walker, Dr. Colin Walker designed this one. Doxy T, great product. A lot of people use this product. Now this product takes care of these two, the tri and the hex. And you would have to read up on it because I don't have all the time in the world to go through each and every one of these problems, these diseases that respiratory disease that the birds can get. But this is a great product for your birds if you want to treat them. Moving right along, combination medications. All these medications here will take care of one or the other or a combination, right? So, for example, this one right here takes care of E. coli and mycoplasmosis. Mycoplasmosis. It's a respiratory. Very good product for respiratory. This can go here, or in the middle. This 4-in-1 salmonella is also a combination medication. This one takes care of canker, takes care of the tri, the hex, and E. coli. So here you have these two, E. coli and canker, all 4-in-1 right here. That's why I said if you do get a combination, look at the things that you want to treat. You could try the combination, which is easier. One time you administer the medication, you don't have to fool with 3 separate different kinds of medications. I like doing individual, but I also like combo. When it's a preventative, especially for preventatives, I like to do a quick 4-in-1 because I'm hitting a couple things at one time. I don't have to go to 4 different sources and add it in the water. This one here also takes care of, same thing, the tri, the hex, the coccidiosis, and mucus in the throat. Birds get that mucus in the throat. You were saying when the birds land, their mouths are open, it seems like you may have a respiratory problem. You may want to try a product like this. It takes care of 3 different types of problems there for respiratory. So check it out, George. Try it out. Check my time here. Okay. So George, to go back to your question, I use these products as a preventative. Every now and then, if you have to treat something, I'll take it the treating route. For you, I would start looking at your birds with a wormer, coccidia, E. coli, and respiratory. These 5 items I would start tackling in your loft right off the bat. Once you follow the instructions on each bottle or container and you go through all these things, then start looking at the feed. You could do it at the same time. Administer 1 tablespoon per bird. That's all they need right now. They may be out of shape, they may be a little overweight. Fly them twice a day and see what happens. Make note, get a notebook. Right on Monday, they gave you, say, 20 minutes. If you're flying them every day, keep a log. If you're flying them 3 times a week, keep a log. The thing is that you want to do is, okay, at what point, as I'm administering these products, the birds got better. It wasn't when I gave them the wormer they were flying the same. The following week I was giving them the coccidiosis. That didn't happen. All of a sudden I gave them the E. coli and it worked. They're flying a little bit longer, which is a good thing. Continue your treatment. Then all of a sudden you gave them the treatment, the respiratory, and they got even better. They gave you an hour and a half, whatever the case may be. And I'm just talking about health. I'm not talking about quality of the bird. I'm not talking about pedigree of the bird. I'm not talking about genetics of the bird. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about whether you got them from New York or down south. I'm not talking about whether you got them from overseas. I'm talking about just health of the bird. And then watch the droppings. The droppings should be nice, firm, almost like clay, with a white cap over it, identifying the urine in the pigeon. And it should be nice and round like a marble. That's the type of dropping you should have in your loft. And once you have all that, then you start looking at genetics of the bird. Once you've done all this and you look at your birds and they're still not performing, now it's time to get rid of the stock because they'll never perform. You could do all this and never have them fly for you. Okay, now when we talk about information, where are you going to obtain all this information? You're going to forget. I know you are, and you're probably going to call me, and that's okay too. But here's the thing. If you want to know something, Get on the internet. Okay? Get on the internet. If you can, you want to purchase some books, I say get online and purchase some of these books. For starters, I would get this book right here, The Pigeon, by the flying vet, Dr. Colin Walker. You cannot go wrong with this book. This book is like the world of encyclopedia for pigeons. It tells you about health, medication, prevention, treatment, lofts, breeds, everything you can think of about pigeons. Get this book. I'm telling you, you will not regret it. George? The other one, which is good, is this one right here. Diseases, Treatment, and Symptoms Database. Now, if you look here, I'm going to show you. It's got all these diseases that a bird can get, right? We touched some of these. Some of them are respiratory. Some of them are, they were not parasites, roundworm, tapeworm, hairworm, gapeworm, right? It tells you the, let me see, what you're looking for, the symptoms. Here are the symptoms, right? And these are all the symptoms that a bird can get. And then, of course, you have the diseases here. It tells you what to look for. Look at this. You can't go wrong. I love this book. Every now and then I fall back on this book. I read this book, go over some things, and it touches everything. See? It tells you about the Newcastle disease. It has everything you can think of. Paramyxo, that's why we vaccinate our birds so we don't get the Newcastle disease. Paramyxo virus. So there you go, George. I hope this video helps. And the other products that I didn't show you, after you do all this, after each round of medication, whether it's preventative or whether it's treatment, I want you to go back and give the birds probiotic, prebiotic, electrolytes. You can use this product. Tractor Supply has it. I've used this for years. You can get prebiotic, probiotic. You can get, this is more of a organic, which is a good, it's not a medication, so this is great. Once I get them all squared away with that, then I stay on top of it with this, because this reduces coccidiosis, protozoa, bacterial threats without antibiotics. Look at that. Promotes weight gain and in weak and stressed pigeons. Now, this only keeps a bird healthy. So you may want to use something like this afterwards. Then you got the Super 6, multiple vitamins. Same thing, prebiotic, probiotic, vitamin C, multivitamins, energy booster, electrolytes, and minerals. It has everything you can think of in one. This is the easiest one to just add in the water. Of course, you got multi-vet mix, multivitamin mix. So there you have it. George, I can say thank you. Thank you for asking the question on this Tippler Talk Tuesday. I hope this helps. Remember, if I were you, make sure your loft is clean, is dry. Start out with the basics. Warmer. Make sure your birds are clean of feather lice, mites, and all that. You may want to go ahead and go with coccidiosis, a big thing. Go E. coli. Now, I would say go with salmonella, also, because it's better to have it done and not need it than to need it and not have it. So go ahead while you're there anyway, right? So you can go through the motions and do all that to see if your birds fly later on. Here you got E. coli, parathyroid, and respiratory. Not so much parathyroid, because the parathyroid is obvious. If the bird is not standing properly and its neck's twisting and the wings have a lump or something like that, then you got problems. You might as well destroy that bird, parathyroid. You're not going to cure that. It's a carrier for sure. But as a prevention, you can use this as a prevention, right? Use these products right here. Same thing. Same thing for respiratory. So get this, respiratory. And if you want to make it easy, I don't like the combos if you're going to do it for the first time. If you're going to do it for the first time, do individual treatments individual prevention versus a combo. A combo is best used when you have all these already done in your loft and you want to just hit them up with something real quick. Do the combo. The combo takes care of a lot of things, right? And there you have it. I think I touched everything. Make sure that you're feeding properly, right? The amount of feed that I told you. Make sure that you treat each individual thing. Make sure you disinfect your loft and the water. When you're adding all these medications to the water as a preventative or a treatment, don't put this stuff in the water. Leave this out. This is only once you've done all this and the birds are looking great and healthy, go ahead and give them this. This is great to maintain a bird. This stuff and this stuff right here can go hand in hand together because the birds are healthy, you have no problems. Their floral system, the digestive system is great. Use these two items together. No problem there whatsoever. Good combo. So George, I know you're watching my video. Again, thank you. If you have any questions, please feel free to call me. We talked about, if you do have an illness in your loft and you don't know, well, if you don't know, go ahead and give it to them as a treatment. Follow the treatment. But once you have that established in your loft, go with the preventative, and you don't have to do it all year round. You can break it up a little bit. You can give it to them a few months, throughout the month or whatever, and then the following month stop. Let them build an immunity on their own, and just keep them on organic and health and clean water, and you should be good. All right, folks. Like I always say it, till next time, please like, share, and subscribe. I'm not afraid to share the wealth, and that's knowledge. Knowledge is wealth. It's taken me many years to learn, but I am willing to pass the information forward. If you can't do the homework, if you can't look it up in the book, if you can't look it up on the internet, call me. I'll give it to you right over the phone. You know how we roll. I'm here for any pigeon handler, any flyer, anytime. So, till next time, peace.